I'll do some scary movie.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Look at me, Damien. It's all for you.
Kill her, Mommy. Kill her.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
This is my boomstick. Here's Johnny.
I have to return some videotapes.
We'll tear your soul apart.
Hello and welcome to a reanimated episode of All Things Horror. I am your host Ben and I'm joined here with my co-host Matt. If you are new to the show, each week we choose a movie to break down and review. We give our honest opinions and rate it from 1 to 10. We have a brief spoiler-free chat about the movie before heading into the plot and discussing our favourite and least favourite parts of the movie. And this week we're going to be discussing Pet Sematary from 1989. But before we do, let's take a quick look at the trailer.
What is this place?
I brought you here to bury Alan's cat.
Daddy, is church all right?
Why, Judd?
I had my reasons.
I dreamed he got hit by a car and you and Mr. Crandall buried him in the pet cemetery.
What did we do tonight, Judd?
What we did, Lois, was a secret.
May the Lord bless you and keep you.
Has anyone ever buried a person up there?
May the Lord make his face to shine upon you.
You're thinking thoughts best not thought of.
Daddy's gonna do something really bad.
You're thinking of putting him up there. Don't deny the thought hadn't crossed your mind.
Come back to me, Gage. Come back to us.
Paramount Pictures presents Stephen King's all-time best-selling tale of horror. Pet Sematary.
Right, so Lewis Creed and his family move into a new home and try to settle in. However, strange things happen after Lewis buries his daughter's cat in an ancient Indian burial ground in the forest behind their house. It's directed by Mary Lambert, written by Stephen King, and it's based on his book of the same name. Main cast is Dale Midkiff, Fred Gwynne, and Denise Crosby. Runtime of 1 hour and 43 minutes, and it's available to stream on Paramount Plus. Yeah, this is probably, I'd say, one of the best Stephen King movies, probably top 5. How would you... What would you say out of all the movies?
I don't know if I agree, but
No?
then but I don't think it's a bad movie. I think it's a well-made movie, good acting, well directed, great cast, good translation of the story. I believe that Stephen King says it's like out of all his stories, the one that scares him the most.
Yeah.
So, in that sense, it might not be on my top 5 list in terms of like favourite Stephen King movies, but I'd imagine it would be quite high up in terms of like quality because they really do vary in quality, don't they?
Yeah, definitely.
Even the ones he's made himself.
I was kind of shocked as well because like you don't realise how many Stephen King movie adaptations have actually been made until you start flicking through them all.
It's ridiculous.
That's
I mean,
loads.
people forget about Shawshank and Stand By Me and all these, but they also forget that he licenses a lot of his short stories to filmmakers for free. To encourage creative people. So like there was a film on Kickstarter about a crazy milkman that I saw, and I supported it. And I was like, oh, they've let him. Stephen King's letting them use this story. It's like from one of his short stories because he writes so many short stories.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's very giving when it comes to letting people use his stuff.
Yeah, I started writing a few down just to list off, and I was just kept listing more and more. So I'll just fire a few off, like Christine, It, Children of the Corn, 1408, The Mist, Carrie, Cujo, Shining, Doctor Sleep, Misery, Salem's Lot, Maximum Overdrive, Stand By Me, Creepshow. There's many, many more.
Yeah, like Maximum Overdrive, the beginning and end of his directorial work.
Yeah.
But so many, isn't there? I mean, you're talking as a writer, 342 films that he's been in sort of connection to. I suppose the last biggest one that they did was when the Rob Savage Boogeyman, which came out the end of last year. And again, that was we covered Rob Savage's Host, so bit of a link there. It didn't kind of. I've not seen it. I've still not seen it, but it wasn't particularly successful. But yeah, there's loads. The modern remake of Firestarter was relatively recent as well. So these keep going, and going and going and going. There's 54 upcoming projects with his name attached to them. So we are not, like versions of Running Man, versions of Creepshow. Yeah. These, I believe they're doing a new App Pupil, which I like the first App Pupil film. I thought that was very good with Brad Renfro, but with a bit of a questionable director, Bryan Singer. There'll be a new Tommy Knockers. There'll be a new Carrie, a new Christine.
So Salem's Lot, I think they're doing this year, aren't they?
Yes, like not just new stories, but like going back and doing some of the ones that people have forgotten.
Yeah. What would you put at the top of the list for Stephen King movie adaptations? Not necessarily your favourite, but what would...
Yeah, like the best.
Any particular film that you would put right up there?
Maybe Stand By Me. I think in terms of like the impact it had on me when I watched it when I was a kid, the acting, the story's so good. The story within a story, like the little clip when it cuts away to the eating contest. I guess The Shining would have to be in there in terms of quality, even though it is he's not particularly happy with the Kubrick version of The Shining. I still think, even though he's happier with the miniseries version, that actually the Kubrick version, I think most people would say is better. I can't think of any off the top of my head. 1922 is an underrated one that I have actually seen. That's quite good. And there's so many. I mean, what about you? What comes in your like Gerald's Game's good as well. Blimey, there's so many.
Yeah. Well, a lot of them are now Netflix series, aren't they? Or Netflix movies. But that's true. Yeah, I'll probably agree with you with Stand By Me. I watched that one quite young. That probably might have been my first King film I watched. My dad was a massive fan of Stand By Me. But the cast stand out in that, like Kiefer Sutherland and everyone.
River Phoenix is incredible in that. Corey Feldman as well. Yeah. So good.
Maybe, I don't know, Christine is another one that I really liked.
Christine is the first Stephen King book that I read.
Oh, okay.
So that has like a place in my heart. And I think it's having more people are saying that they like the movie now as well than they used to do. I think people are kind of, because it's John Carpenter as well, they're kind of reassessing it and going, oh, actually, it's better than I thought it was at the time.
It seems to be a thing. Everyone always says, oh, yeah, but the book is better. How would you say that then? Like Christine book or Christine movie?
Well, again, it's like, because I read the book first, I guess I would say the book, but the same goes with like The Godfather. So most people would say Godfather is one of the greatest films ever made, but I was really underwhelmed because I read the book first and I was just, but you're never going to have that level of detail in a film, even if it's like like 8 hours, 12 hours long or whatever. So it's a bit unfair to compare books and films, isn't it, really? They're just adaptations of the book. So yeah, I would probably say the book of Christine is better, but that's only because it has more stuff in it. And if you like something, you want more of it, or most people do.
Yeah. I found out George A. Romero was apparently up to direct this film, but he pulled out for another project. That would have been...
he did Monkey Shines instead of this.
Oh, okay, yeah. I can't help but think what this movie would have been like, because this is quite an iconic movie when you think about it now, and obviously Romero is like the zombie god, so for him to
he'd have got Tom Savini on it, I think. He'd have had Tom Savini doing the effects. So that Sematary would have been wild.
Yeah,
stuff coming out of it and all that kind of stuff. The bits near the end, but it is still the effects are very good in this. So,
it's solid. Yeah, but I can't help but think what it would have been like with a Romero touch to it. Yeah.
One I've not seen is Thinner. I'd like to see Thinner. That's
I like that one. So it's like a gypsy woman guy, cursed him.
The guy who directed and wrote Fright Night, isn't it? And Tom Holland. So it's got that might be one that people reassess as time goes by. 'Cause I think it was 96, right in the middle of that kind of almost like dead period for horror, where until Scream, where people were just not. They just weren't getting released. They weren't getting as much of a attention as they do now.
Yeah.
And we didn't even mention Misery.
Yeah,
it's like an Oscar-winning film.
It's another one, another good one with a solid cast as well.
Yeah, Running Man. We're just listing off amazing films like Running Man.
That's what I mean. It's just endless. The more you look, the more you find.
Yeah.
Again,
though, the ones that I tend to avoid are animal-related ones because I don't like seeing any animal peril or upset or even a dog getting angry. I'd feel sorry for Cujo. That's why I've never watched it.
So this must have been a tough watch for you then.
This was horrendously hard to watch. Yeah, I found it really tough to watch it.
It can be rough.
It was rough.
It seemed to be like a running thing in the 80s with ancient Indian burial grounds. This one, the Poltergeist House, Amityville Horror, the Overlook Hotel from The Shining. It's all burial grounds.
Yeah, and I don't think it's as. I think now that idea of a kind of mystical Native American isn't as politically correct as it could be. So I don't think you see things like that as much. But it just seemed to be a common thing. I'd imagine most of these things, Stephen King would be the first one to kind of come up with the idea, and then loads of other writers will jump on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
Because everything he touched at that point just turned to gold, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I've not actually heard of the director, Mary Lambert. Yeah.
She's fascinating, I think, yeah.
I'm quite surprised because I was going through her filmography of the other stuff that she's done, and I've literally heard of nothing other than Pet Sematary 2. It was in 1992.
Well, this is it, and she's more famous for some iconic music videos, like she did Like a Virgin and Like a Prayer. Like a Prayer is, you can imagine, if you close your eyes, you can remember, though, if you're my age anyway, you can remember the Like a Prayer video because it was quite controversial at the time, and she was really more of a music director, so that she was friends with the Ramones, hence the song being on this, and and Stephen King was a big fan of the Ramones as well. So there's a sort of combination of things like that. She did a good job directing this, I think. Obviously, like you say, she did the sequel as well, which I haven't seen. She directed Motley Crue videos, and she's I suppose how David Fincher got his start making things like Nine Inch Nails videos and stuff. We're talking, that was a good route to being a director of a big film back then. I don't know if it's the same now as much, making, because videos, I don't know, it's not like MTV is a route where everybody switches on MTV and watches that same music video like they did. So it's probably harder to get noticed being a music video director than it was then at the peak of MTV's powers kind of thing in America.
Yeah, that's surprising. Yeah, you don't really hear that from directors. What else we got here? We got bloody Fred Gwynne. Is that how you say his name? Gwynne, it is.
Yeah, Fred Gwynne, Herman Munster, yeah.
I'm wearing a Munsters t-shirt, right?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
What the original Munsters are, the Rob Zombie...
the original, yeah. I haven't even seen the Rob Zombie one yet.
No, I don't think I have, actually. No. I think I probably would have remembered if I had.
Yeah, but when I think about Fred Gwynne, I think of Herman Munster, I think Judd, and also, I don't know if you like it, but My Cousin Vinny, he was the judge.
Yeah, I remember My Cousin Vinny, yeah. Ralph Macchio's really good in that as well. And Marissa Tomei won the Oscar for that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good in this, Fred Gwynne, really good. He's, I heard that he didn't look as old, and he had to make his hair grey.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like he did, even though he'd been around for a while, he hadn't gone grey, so they had to make him grey for the part.
Wow, they greyed him out.
Yeah, yeah. So, some interesting casting people, like the little girl Ellie. She's like now a rapper. Yeah, and the little boy, Miko Hughes. He's Dylan from New Nightmare.
Oh my god!
And Dylan, and the new short that I recommended a few weeks ago, the Dylan's New Nightmare film, where he obviously plays Dylan grown up,
and that's him.
And he's also Mikey in Kindergarten Cop.
No,
but the weird thing was, back then they used to always have two kids, like twins, so that they could use one of the babies and then swap and get a different baby. The director was so sold on Miko Hughes being amazing that she only wanted him. So he did everything. So every time you see that little kid talking, it's like, just thought he just had that presence that jumped off the screen for a little baby, for a little kid.
Yeah.
And that's mad, because he has gone on and, had a career and been quite popular and famous in other things. It's so strange that she spotted that at 2 or something?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So that's my little factoid about the casting. Other than I remember Denise Crosby in the first couple of seasons of Star Trek: The Next Generation. I don't think she seemed to disappear from that. I don't know.
Wow, breaking out the trivia early.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just looking through and I was just like, because I like Dale Midkiff. Is that how I say it? Midkiff?
Midkiff, yeah.
Yeah, I like him in it. He smiles a lot. And it's really strange, but he smiles loads in the film, like every opportunity. So he's quite charismatic. And I don't really know him from anything else, but I feel like he could have been, I know he was in The Crow, but he could have been like an absolute star. Like, he's a good looking guy. But every film I've looked at that he's done in the modern times are like cat-related films, like Hell's Kitty and Hell's Kitty 2 and Hell's Kitty the series. So he's linked for fighting evil cats. For once he made that film, that was it. He's like the evil cat guy.
Oh my god. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I've got for pre-spoilers. Had a budget of 11.5 mil, and made a box office of 57.5. So decent.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. Not bad at all, considering the subject matter isn't like. See, the thing is, for me, this is an actual horror film. I know this is going to sound ridiculous, but it's an actual horror film. Whereas, like, it horrifies me. It doesn't scare me. Like, it's not like, oh, I'm hiding under the sofa. But in, like, the traditional sense of the word horror, it horrifies me. There are things that happen in the film that make me very uncomfortable and I don't want to see. In that sense, it works very well.
Yeah.
So, you know, I have a strange thing about animals, and, like, I don't want to see them suffer, or I root for them over human beings. There's that, which obviously makes it difficult. And then there's some of the kind of peril that the baby is in throughout the film that really gets me. And actually, I think Dale Midkiff's amazing in portraying grief as well in this. I think he's incredible, really, at like getting that across. Yeah. So there's loads of stuff like that maybe may mean that it won't be a film I revisit, but it doesn't mean it's a bad film.
I forgot to ask, was this your first time watching it?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
It was, yeah. Because I have actively avoided it.
Yeah.
Even though I love the Ramones and I've listened to the song like a million times.
Right. Okay. It'll be interesting to know how you reacted throughout the film then.
All right, so if you're ready, we'll jump into it.
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
Cool, I'll hit that spoiler warning.
Spoiler warning.
Okay, so the Creed family. Lewis, Rachel, Ellie and Gage and their pet cat Church moved from Chicago to rural Ludlow, Maine. Shocking that it's in Maine. But
yeah, it's not Derry.
After Lewis accepts a job as a local physician, they befriend neighbour Judd Crandall, who takes them to an isolated pet cemetery in the forest behind their home. Yeah, so what did you make of the opening for this?
It's like very lovely, you know, perfect place. It's soon broken, isn't it, by the truck shooting past.
Yeah.
Like, and Judd doesn't come across as creepy. He comes across as like nice, which I think is important for the story. So I do like the beginning, but then instantly I would be like, fuck's sake, we can't live here because one of us is going to die because of the trucks going past at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Yeah, you'd think they'd know that before moving in. Like maybe when they check the house out and be like, yeah, what's up with that road?
Is it like a priest, you know, or a vicar when they give you a house attached to the job and you don't get to choose that house?
Yeah.
And it's like, because he's the local doctor, they're like, oh, by the way, you get a house too. And he's like, oh, cool. And then they're like, here's the house. Because he is going like that at the beginning. He's going like, what do you think? And she's like, I love it. And the kid's like, I also love it. Then I'm seriously injured then. The baby's going to die. Within a couple of minutes.
That was...
And here's our neighbour.
I think that was the thing that kind of bugged me about that first intro bit, was the fact, I think Ellie, she was on like a tyre swing and she hurts herself. Both parents just kind of abandon Gage and just like run over to him, and they're just completely numb to what's happening behind them. And Gage is just wandering off into this main road, and then obviously it's kind of a what's it called? Red herring, is that right?
Yeah.
I couldn't find the word. Fake out. That's what I meant. Fake out. Yeah.
The old bait and switch.
Yeah, but that really annoyed me. Like the parents, like how old is Gage? Like 2?
Oh, it's got to be 2. I'm not sure. Yeah. You probably know more than me.
And I'm like, for fuck's sake, just keep an eye. Right.
I was like laughing because I was thinking at first. It shocked me because I was thinking about one of my favourite Simpsons bit where they talked about Mrs. Krabappel being in the thing with Skinner being in the cupboard, and he goes and then he goes, her name's Krabappel. I've been calling her Crandall. And that's what Homer's really upset about, not the fact that they've been making out in a cupboard. I saw he was called Judd Crandall. I was chuckling about that, and then we nearly had a baby run over, and I completely went back into the movie.
It's pointed out that the cemetery is misspelled. I'm not sure if there's like an actual reason for that, or if the people of Maine are just a bit dyslexic.
I guess the person who wrote it would to think maybe they are like simple folk, you know. I guess, but this is the thing: is it the South?
Maine? Oh, I don't know.
It's just that there's a real traditional thing, isn't there, of like kind of making it seem like people in the South are really, really stupid, like all of them, which I think is very. Yeah. It's almost like the way that people in the south of England think that people in the north or the Midlands are really stupid. Just like you think I'm stupid.
You're not that stupid after all.
I'm that stupid for a northerner. Whereas they're like, down south. So maybe it's a bit of that.
So Lewis encounters Victor Pascoe, a jogger who is fatally injured after being hit by a truck. Shockingly. He warns Lewis about the pet cemetery before dying. That night, Pascoe's ghost leads Lewis to the cemetery and warns him not to cross the barrier.
Oh, shit! A ghost!
Scary.
Lewis awakens from the supposed dream to find his feet covered in dirt. While the family is gone, Church is run down. Realising Ellie will be devastated, Judd takes Lewis beyond the pet cemetery and deep into the woods to an ancient Indian burial ground. Judd instructs Lewis to bury the cat and warns him not to tell anyone about what they have done.
It will all be fine.
Yeah. See, that... I still don't get it, right? Because Judd showed him exactly where it is, how he does it. He helps him the whole time. But he knows full well what that place is and what happens, because we see the backstory of what happened to his dog. So why did he think it was a good idea to go?
Don't know. Maybe it's just like, that's a long time ago. Things will things will be different this time.
Yeah, mine was a dog, yours is a cat. Yeah,
it'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Stop worrying. Do you know, I was thinking Reanimated Cats made me think about Reanimator, and for some reason I don't mind it in Reanimator. Mainly because I feel Reanimator is like a big, silly cartoon. So, if we're going to talk Reanimated cat films, then this is number 2 on the list after Reanimator for me.
Oh, I've not seen that one.
Oh, we need to watch Reanimator. It's amazing.
I'll put it on the list. Oh, yeah. I think Lewis needs to invest in a better shovel, because it seemed to take him all day to dig that hole, and it was only like 2 feet deep. It was light when he started, and it was like pitch black when he finished. And the hole was literally a cat-sized hole. Right?
Amazing.
Yeah, get a better shovel. Yeah, the next day, a reanimated Church returns to the house. He now stinks, moves sluggishly, and his eyes glow gold, and he is vicious towards Lewis. Judd explains that as a boy he revived his pet dog, and although the cat might be different, it will save Ellie the grief of losing her pet. Do you reckon Judd's dog was the inspiration for Cujo?
Maybe. I was just thinking what a good dad he is. Like,
yeah.
That's one thing I never understood, is why his family-in-laws, his what do you call them, parent-in-laws, they don't like him, and he just seems like he's a doctor. He's really nice. He's great with the children. He's kind. He's handsome.
Yeah.
He's like helpful. What's not to like? And as we find out later on, the dad can't wait to give a fucking punch in the mush to him. Fair enough. They were under a bit of stress. But...
Yeah. Oh yeah. Around this time, the helper woman.
Oh yeah.
She hangs herself. But
yeah, she goes from being like, I've not got any, nobody was like, I would have loved to have married a doctor, and nobody will marry me, and and then she hangs herself.
I really don't. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really sure what the point of her character was.
Is there more of her in the book? There must be.
She had like 2 lines, and then she kills herself. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, there's got to be more about her in the book.
She was a very I don't know.
Yeah. I think they cut about 20 odd minutes from this, which they never recovered.
Oh, okay.
And maybe there was more story about her in there.
Oh, maybe.
That's just a guess. It seems to make sense, because she feels like quite a well realized character, but doesn't like do much, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Not in it very much.
We also get to meet that sexy Zelda. She's a lovely lady.
Yeah, and that's a man, is it? That's a man.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Just to creep them out even more.
Yeah. Yeah, I think in the remake they do more of that, like the whole Zelda thing. But,
why can't Zeldas be Zelda? Well, I was going to say that, I suppose. I was going to say, why does Zelda have to be a bad person's name? Like a Z name. It's just bad.
Yeah, we then see everyone outside having a picnic and flying a kite. And
next to the road.
Right next to the main road. And then, of course, everyone just decides not to look at Gage, and he just runs off into the main road and bam! Killed by a speeding truck. Yep, twice.
Yeah. So didn't help this time, though.
Judd anticipates that Lewis is considering burying him in the cemetery, or the burial ground, wherever it is. Judd insists that the burial ground is evil and Lewis must not bury his son there, adding that...
Well, sometimes that is better.
He says some pretty profound stuff in this film, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a bit in the... I'm not sure whether we've gone past it already, but where... what's Dale's character? Dale, what's its called? Character called again?
Lewis. Yeah.
Lewis.
Lewis Creed.
He goes flying off the... Not Apollo Creed, is it now? And he goes flying off the... Maybe it's his brother. But he went flying off the bed and he smashes his head into a bedside table. And it is...
yeah.
Yeah, that is serious. Like, that is not acting. That's just like... Because he knocks himself and it hits him so hard. He goes, oh.
Yeah,
and
you can't
jumps
fake
back.
that. Oh,
Yeah,
God.
I was like, ooh. That's probably, other than the kid getting run over, that's probably the most shocking part of the film for me. But yeah, I'm sure Judd says something about death that I was like being ready, wanting more time with your pets, and like being able to let that go when the pain stops. And I was like, that's really profound stuff. No one's ever really talked about that in movies before. That idea that your pets, 9 times out of 10, you outlive your pets, don't you? And it's like heartbreaking, and we love them. And like, if it will come, like in this, obviously, it'll come back as some sort of horrible demon if you're not ready to let it go. And like there's a period of time. It takes time to let things go.
Yeah. But again, I found it quite funny that the fact that Judd's now saying, the burial ground is evil, you can't bury him there. And I was like, yeah, well, you weren't saying that a couple of days ago when you literally led him there to bury the cat.
No, when they're fighting in the church. And I was expecting the baby to just roll out of the coffin out onto the ground.
Yeah.
But it didn't. You just saw a little bit.
You see his arm, don't you? Flop out.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, it really hit me different watching it this time around, because I've seen this not a massive amount of times, just, I don't know, 3 maybe times I've seen this before I watched it. And it's been a while, but obviously now I've got a son that's, I would say he's the same age. My son's 2.5, so he's around Gage's age.
Yeah.
So the fact that the parents aren't paying him enough attention, and there's that horrific death, it really made me so uneasy.
It's so uncomfortable to watch, isn't it?
Because now I'm kind of putting myself in the position of them, and I'm feeling their emotions a hell of a lot more now, because I can kind of understand what they're going through. So yeah, I don't know. This time around, it was a lot more uneasy for me.
I can understand that. I mean, just anyone with any kind of sympathy or empathy, and also the way it's built, the way it's kind of filmed. That he's running like as fast as he possibly can, and he's just that. It's just that thing. You are literally going, come on. Like you are wanting to, even though people, I imagine people will do that even who have seen it multiple times.
Yeah. You know what's coming, but you still want him to get there.
Yeah. It's crazy.
But then also, like, I'm not going to lie, I think Rachel, like, after this, obviously, after the funeral, I think Rachel is being a bit of a twat for leaving Lewis when he is clearly in a bad state of mind. You don't leave someone on their own, like, at that time. You can see he's properly, like, not in the right headspace.
No, but maybe you have to speed up that process, because I think often when terrible things like that happen, the couples, like if they lose a baby in any circumstance, I think they tend to, not always, obviously every person's different, but they tend to, being with each other reminds them of the thing, and they end up splitting up. So I think there's a bit of that. I think that's quite realistic. However, it is, like you say, it's very fast. Like, I'd imagine that she would, if it was in real life, it would take a little bit of a time to grieve and before you make decisions like that. But in this, everything is pretty much sped up, isn't it? It's like they're trying to get the whole book into the hour and whatever it is.
Yeah, it does feel like that, yeah.
So it's like we said at the beginning, it's like pull up outside the thing, look at the thing, meet the neighbour, truck goes past. Like pacing is really fast. It doesn't really slow down much.
Yeah. So, where are we? Lewis takes Gage's body and buries him at the ritual site. Pascoe appears to Ellie in a dream and warns her that Lewis is about to do something terrible. Rachel is unnerved by her daughter's dream and decides to return to Maine, accompanied by Pascoe. That night, the reanimated Gage returns, murdering Judd, and then shortly after murders Rachel as well.
Oh dear. Today your ass is gonna die, bitch.
Is that from a scary movie?
Lewis wakes up. Well, he smacks his head on the table and then he wakes up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's that.
Yeah.
There's got to be a GIF of that somewhere.
Yeah, I'll find it. I'll make one. So he wakes up and Gage's muddy footprints in the house, and he finds his scalpel is missing from his bag. He fills up 3 syringes with morphine and then heads to Judd's house. Lewis kills Church with an injection before entering the house. Gage taunts him and Lewis is startled by Rachel's body hanging from the attic before Gage attacks him. Alright, well, wait. wait. How is she hanging? Because, Gage stabbed her and now she's hanging? So did that little small zombie child get up there and hang her? Or
he's got zombie strength.
Stab and hang.
It's like a butcher kind of putting a bit of meat on a on a hook. I used to find that quite hard, but I guess if it was a zombie, it'd be easy.
Well, I guess when they're fighting, that little 2-year-old is putting up a good fight against a fully grown adult as well. So he must have some kind of superhuman strength.
Well, I've got no experience with reanimated babies.
Have you
at
not?
all? No, none. However, that doesn't even happen in Reanimator, so I can't. And that's my frame of reference for all reanimated things. There's no babies. There's cats. There's heads. There's reanimated heads. So without giving too many spoilers, but yeah, there's. I don't think there's any babies, so this is the only one.
After a brief battle, Lewis overpowers Gage. He injects him with the morphine syringe. He then lights Judd's house on fire, leaving it to burn as he carries Rachel's body to the burial ground. That night, Rachel returns to Lewis. Rachel takes a large knife and the screen cuts to black before he screams.
Was that a goat?
That was a deer.
Oh, it was a deer. Does he not learn? What's he doing this for? Does he not think she's...
Third time lucky, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess.
Cat?
Come on,
no. Oh, baby? No. Wife?
Third time lucky, wife.
No. Yeah, roll credits and play the Ramones.
And that's it, yeah. And everybody walks confusedly out of the cinema. Why is he doing that?
You may not like this bit. I'm starting the trivia early, but that bit when Lewis puts down Church, I thought that looked really real. Because you see it breathing really slowly and really sluggish, and he's shutting his eyes. But they didn't actually kill the cat. Just No. But
curiosity did that.
For that scene, there was an actual vet that sedated him. So, yeah, they sedated the cat actually on camera
for no reason
to make it look like he was dying. So they actually legit put the cat to sleep.
Oh wow, it's crazy. It's crazy that what they would do in the 80s.
Yeah. The cat's fine though. It made a full recovery.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, we know it came back to life, and because this is real.
Yeah. So that is the whole film. So we can go ahead and do our ratings.
So I'm going to rate this 1 to 10 undead cats, or reanimated cats.
Oh, you go first, because I still haven't made up my mind.
All right. Okay, so this it was never a Stephen King movie that jumped out to me as being like the best of the best, but I would always, like I said earlier, I would lean towards maybe like Christine or The Shining or Creepshow, Stand By Me. But yeah, I really got into it this time. I was noticing things that I hadn't really noticed before, and it kind of drew me in a bit, like Judd's background and stuff like that. Probably a big part of it was it's the first time I watched this as a parent, so I'm getting the emotions from Lewis and Rachel that I wouldn't have like fully understood before, maybe. So yeah, I think it's a solid film with a solid storyline from the King. Yeah, I don't know. A few years ago, I maybe would have given this like a 7 out of 10, but I'm going to bump it up by 1 and give it an 8 undead cats out of 10.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't think that before I watched it. Before I watched it, I was thinking, middle of the road kind of around. But yeah, I don't know. For this time round, I was really into it. So I'm going to judge it by this experience.
Yeah, that like there is literally like nothing wrong with the film. Like I can't criticize it in terms of the quality of everything, like from special effects, like we said, the set design, the acting, the story, the pacing's wild, but like it has to be to fit everything in. So to sort of please Stephen King fans, I guess, and to kind of get up to the root of the story. But the sort of child trauma, the animal trauma, the idea of animals dying really upsets me. So this is not the film for me. So it's just a case of grading it on personal preference rather than quality of the film. So I am giving it a 6 out of 10. Ooh. I will probably not revisit this film or any of its offshoots, but you know, I'm not saying it's a bad film. It is a good film.
Cool. All right. Okay, let's jump into our trivia section.
Trivia. Oh yeah.
I think we've actually already spoken about a couple of these, but yeah, we said about the Ramones and how Mary Lambert's better known for her music videos. So yeah, we've already spoken about that. The role of Zelda, you mentioned it was played by a man. Mary Lambert wanted Zelda and her scenes to frighten the audience, and she didn't think that a 13-year-old girl was scary enough to do that, so she casted Andrew Hubastek.
Yes, I know him well.
Yeah. So yeah, he was Zelda. Okay, a little Easter egg in this one. So when Victor Pascoe is being carried into the clinic after being hit by the truck, a rabies poster with a picture of Cujo can be seen on a bulletin board by the stairs.
Ah, see, these are the things you would catch, I would miss completely. When people go, you probably don't know this, but in this scene, this happens. I'll go, yeah, you're right. I probably won't know that.
The film was shot on location in the same rural Maine area that Stephen King set the novel, Pet Sematary. So yeah, it was actually filmed in Maine. Okay, all right. I've left this one till last because this one is pretty special. So the story was inspired by actual events. Stephen King says that while he was living in Maine with his family, they lived near a busy main road, and his daughter's cat was killed by a truck. And one time his youngest son nearly ran right into the road as a speeding truck was coming down it. Even the character of Judd Crandall was actually based on an elderly neighbour that lived across the road. And there was even an actual pet cemetery in the woods behind his house.
And
so it's non-fiction.
And the sign for the cemetery was misspelt with an S.
Oh, so
literally,
not that creative.
No, literally, he's just written about his life.
Just got a weird life.
Yeah.
But did you say, and this is the lazy thing that teachers will say, just write what you know.
Yeah.
That's what they said to me.
Okay, all right, that'll do for the trivia. So let's go into this week's game.
Play a game.
Okay, all right. The game I've made for this week is How Well Do You Know the King?
Elvis.
yeah, that's what it's about, Elvis.
Oh, nice one.
So yeah, I'm just going to quiz you on your knowledge of Stephen King's movies and books. All right, so first question. What was Stephen King's first published novel?
Oh, man. Can you give me a clue? Is it have they made a film out of it?
There is a film out of it, yeah.
Well, that narrows it down to about 300. Stand By Me.
No.
It's called The Body, isn't it? It's part of a book called The Body. Never mind.
It was Carrie in 1974.
Oh.
And you've just answered the next question. Stand By Me was the movie adaptation for which novel?
The Body. I was just Googling Stephen King books.
Cheater. Okay, all right. What breed of dog is Cujo?
Oh, big one.
Big one.
I'm rubbish with breeds of dog, unless I've owned the dog. Is it a St. Bernard? Yes! St. Bernard for your American listeners.
Bernard. Yeah. Okay, all right. So this is a bit of a funny one. Roughly how many books has Stephen King written? So not like short stories or anything, like actual books.
Roughly. So can I have within 10?
Yeah, within 10 I'll give it to you.
Okay, 200.
No, actual like books, like novel books, is 73.
Oh.
But I think like short stories and stuff, he's literally done like 200 of them.
Yeah, because there's like, and there's ones he's done with his sons as well. There's like the Bazaar of Bad Dreams. I think I own that one. That's like a compendium, and I'm not sure how many are his and how many is his sons. So yeah.
Okay, you should know this. Which of his movie adaptations feature Arnold Schwarzenegger as the lead role?
Well, just one, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just one.
Yeah, I thought you said which of his adaptations, like he's more than one.
No.
Running Man, The Running Man. Kindergarten Cop. The John Kimball.
And lastly, Stephen King wrote and starred as the lead role in the Creepshow anthology. What was the character's name?
Oh, you told me that it's the one you liked. Jody something. I can't remember. Jody Redneck. I don't know.
Jody Redneck. Good try.
It's close.
It was The Lonesome Death of Geordie Verrill.
Oh, Geordie. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you done it now, Geordie Verrill? You monkhead.
I still thought he was called. I thought he was called Jody.
Yeah, and that is all we have for this episode. Just to wrap up, the poll pick was for haunted houses, and Jesus Christ, we have had so many votes on this poll pick, the most we've ever had. So with Facebook and YouTube poll combined together, we've had 129 people vote.
Ooh.
Yeah. It was between Malevolent, Poltergeist, and Amityville Horror. So in third place was Malevolent. Only 8 people wanted that.
Malevolent.
In second place was Poltergeist with 40 people that wanted that, 40 votes. So that means in first place is the Amityville Horror with 89 votes.
The original one, yeah?
The original, yeah, I think that was 79.
If it's only that's when I was born, the year I was born.
Ooh.
It was a very good year.
Oh, I love that movie. That's a great movie.
I may have seen it, but I can't remember, so it'll be like I'm watching it for the first time.
Oh.
So that's not next episode, though, is it? Next episode is...
Oh, no. Next episode, we are doing the one, the only, A Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah.
Ooh.
Have you ever heard of that one?
No. Is that the one with... Is that the spin-off from Dylan's New Nightmare?
It's Jason Voorhees, right?
Yeah, can't wait.
I
saw a
Jason
really great
Myers.
thing the other day about who would you have if you were making, Nightmare on Elm Street now, recasting. And somebody, I was trying to think of somebody, and somebody put David Demalstian.
David Demalstian? Who's that?
Yeah, from he's in Suicide Squad. He's Polka Dot Man in Suicide Squad.
Oh, okay.
Just Google him, but I think he'd be perfect.
Oh, I think I know who you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, he's in a Batman.
Who do you mean? What, to play Freddy?
Yeah, if they had to redo it now.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah,
that's one for people to think about for next episode. Who would you cast?
Who would you cast? Yeah.
Because I was always in the Kevin Bacon. I was in Kevin Bacon camp. Especially because when he got burnt, he could be Crispy Bacon.
Oh, you really thought about that one.
No, I literally just came up with that. I'm so proud of myself. We need to end the episode now because that's the best thing I'm ever going to say.
Crispy Bacon. Oh, God. That's going to make for a good short. Oh, right. Okay. All right. Well, that is all. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
If you liked today's episode and want to hear more, then go ahead and give us a follow on wherever you're listening from. You can also like us on Facebook, as that's where we do our themed poll picks, where you get to vote for what we do next. Feel free to leave us a comment or send us a message, or you could even email us at allthingshorror666@gmail.com. Thanks a lot for listening, and we'll see you in the next one.
We all go a little mad sometimes.